Rachel at Lifetime Fitness in South Austin. We just got bars about a month ago, and we started doing stuff on the bar class. And it's hard when there's 60 people in the room to show some corrections, and so I promised class today that I would use them as my faithful friends and guinea pigs to show some of the ways that we want to stay in proper alignment when we're at the bar. So here we go. We're going to start with a position that we do a lot, because now that you can tug on the bars, these are really good for this. So my friends are going to come very close to the bar. In class, I'll say T-Rex arms. So their elbows are right by their sides, you'll see. Shoulders are down, and they're parallel, so the sides of the big toes touch. So here they're going to do a little releve, not huge. This doesn't have to be a 6-inch heel. And then don't step. This is the first mistake you can make. They step back. They're just going to lean back. Shoulders stay down. So now they're at this angle I call a trust ball, and then they're going to sit in a chair. What we want is what's called neutral, and they are beautifully in neutral. Neutral means God-given curves, no more. Can you show more, ladies? More curve? So we see that, sticking their butts out. We're also not in what I call a pure bar tuck. So they're not tucked either. So they're in a nice long and happy low back. Shoulders stay down, arms are straight. Here they are, long and happy in the low back. They want to stay pretty much with their thighs parallel and their shins perpendicular. If you drop really far, it's actually not as effective. You lose the work. So they're going to stay right here. Okay? So go ahead and come up. Thank you, ladies. Another thing we do is what we call facing the bar stuff. It's a lot of basement work, I would say. And so I'm going to show some important cues or important alignment reminders for that. So they're going to rest their forehead. My friend Rachel is pretty petite. She's only about 5'2", so she's going to come to low bar. Carrie's probably in the middle, so she could choose to be at the lower or the upper bar. If you're pretty tall, I'd say like 5'10" or more, you're going to want to be on the upper bar. So here they are, and they're still in neutral. Their shoulders are down. They can show me a sway back because they both know what I mean. Okay, so now they're dumping. And then they can show me flexion. I call it the praying mantis position. They're not in that either. They're in a nice neutral spine. God-given curves, no greater. Their hips have to stay pushed back. If they start to lean their hips in, then they're starting to put weird pressure on their knees. So we're putting backward pressure on the knees. So they have to keep the legs stacked. Now, ladies, would you take your right leg behind you? Now, here's what happens a lot of times is people will rotate this open because it's hard, so they'll start to rotate it. So now they're shortening one side of their back, lengthening the other, and they're cocking their hips. So you want to make sure that both sides of your waist, you see them, they're doing a beautiful job, both sides of their waist are equal. I can put a coffee cup right in their sacrum and not spill it. So their hip bones are level. And then here's another common error. People will lock their knees because it's hard. When you lock your knee, it's not breathing, and joints are meant to breathe. So the knee is soft no matter what, okay? So here they are. And then if we were doing work in this, we can cross and lift. I'll sometimes do in class, cross and lift. And we can dish the cross and just tap and lift. But they're both being mindful that they don't let their hips come forward. Their hips are back, their knee is soft. The sides of their waist stay equal on both sides. The other thing a lot of people do is they'll drop their head. They'll drop it, and I make jokes all the time to save the neck flexion for your iPhone. So you're not dropping your head. Your neck's natural curve is one of slight extension, and you're maintaining that the whole time. Come on up, ladies. I think those are the two really important ones here. Actually, let's show one more while we're at it. So we do stuff that's called side lying. It's basically Pilates side leg work done standing. And so here these gals are, they're going to show this to you. So probably for Rachel, for sure, the bottom bar. Carrie's one of those. She's a little taller than I am, so she could choose to be at the top bar or the bottom bar. And it's important that they tip their torso down, which they've just done. So they've tipped. If you don't tip, you're way more likely to make this a back exercise. And we're trying to isolate the muscles of the hip. And most people find this out viscerally, eventually, that the standing leg feels more than the legs that's lifted. And that's because what's called your glute medius is having to stabilize your pelvis here. So you will feel your standing leg a lot. So here they are. If I asked them to lower the leg and lift the leg, to lower the leg and lift the leg, they have to stay low in order to not make this an exercise for what's called your quadratus lumborum, their low back here. And then I say this in class, or I've been saying it lately because it's challenging to keep your neck in the middle. So a lot of times people will start to lead with their head, so they'll cock their head, and that's really not healthy for it, right? We don't want to end up with like a wry neck. So the head stays in between, with the distance between the ears and the shoulders the same on both sides. You notice Rachel's not touching the floor, Carrie is. So Rachel with her shorter legs may not come all the way down. Carrie with her longer legs will. Stacked and as if between two panes of glass, and they're both beautiful models for that. So I hope that's helpful to you guys, and I'll see you in class. Thank you, Rachel and Carrie, for demonstrating.